You're watching CT22 with Eric Parker, sponsored by Hartford Healthcare.
Last week at this time, word was trickling out that some of our state's essential workers would be getting a payment of up to $1,000. Now, the website to apply was put up, but not quite ready to handle the onslaught of applications, and that prompted dozens of you to reach out to us to figure out exactly what was happening. Now, there are people who will get that money, and so the question is, who are they? And here to clear up all the confusion is State Comptroller Natalie Braswell. Natalie, thank you so much for joining us here on CT22.
Thanks so much for inviting me to talk about the program.
Right. So a busy week. So as I understand, you had a soft launch, but didn't quite anticipate how many people would be applying. Thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands. I'm not exactly sure. So what's happening now? And then the system was supposed to come up on Wednesday. Did that happen? Is it up and running, or there's still some glitches?
So the system has been up and running intermittently since last week. We had an unannounced soft launch to test the functionality of the portal. And as you stated, demand from word of mouth alone was incredible. We had over 30,000 people registered, between the weekend and now. And we're really just trying to ask folks to wait until the program is officially launched to apply. Our vendor is rapidly expanding capacity to accommodate what we expect is going to be a tremendous volume and tremendous amount of people coming to the website to apply for this program. We anticipate that the program will be officially launched by the end of this week.
Right, and we wanted to have you on so that you could provide some information to our viewers so that they know. So who are these essential workers? So these are Tier 1A and 1B, right? And so who are they? And I know it's a very long list, but if you could recap for us so that people know, who they are and if they should be applying for this.
So we're talking about individuals who worked in Connecticut during the pandemic in jobs classified by the CDC as 1A or 1B. And as you mentioned, that list is very long and it's very extensive. But what we're really talking about here are healthcare workers and childcare workers, grocery store employees and pharmacy employees, bus drivers, those in critical manufacturing and other frontline occupations. Those individuals must have actually been working on the job site and not working from home. They had to have made under $150,000 for the year. And a really important distinction to be made is that this particular program is only for private sector workers, not for federal, state, or municipal employees.
Right, I think that's where some of the confusion was, because people hear essential workers, so they think police officers, firefighters, any kind of government employee, and that's not. These are private sector employees who had to go to work, grocery store workers who, let's face it, they had to show up for work so that people could buy food during the pandemic.
Correct. So, in terms of the purpose of this particular fund, we had essential workers who made huge sacrifices to keep us safe and to care for the most vulnerable members of our population. And they just did such an incredible job keeping this economy running. And so this is a small way for us to, return that favor and return and show our gratitude and just say thank you for, getting up every day during some of the darkest times that we had, especially in the beginning of the pandemic, when no one really had a lot of information as to sort of what was going on and there was no vaccine, and quite frankly, put themselves in harm's way to, again, go out and do their job and make sure that we were able to function and buy food and get medicine and care for the elderly and care for our children.
As I understand it, this is a state program. There's about $30 million in it, and the maximum someone can get is about $1,000, and then it reduces the more money you make, right? So it keeps going down, and there is some money for part-time people, $500.
Correct. So up to $1,000 for qualified workers who earned less than $100,000 a year, up to $500 for part-time workers, and gradually decreases if you've earned between 100 and 150.
Right. So if you're someone who thinks that they might be eligible, Should they apply if they're not sure, if maybe there's some doubt and they don't know?
Yes, 100%. I would err on the side of going to our website, ctessentialworkerrelief.org, and going through the process to register and working your way through the eligibility criteria. You'll be prompted to answer a series of questions that will help you to determine whether or not you are eligible for the program. And once that determination is made, it'll send you straight to the application to ask you to verify identification and verify income, and you'll be good to go.
All right, we have about a minute left, but I wanted to ask you because I think people, not everyone is very savvy on a website. Is it fairly easy to navigate on your own? Is there a live chat? How do you, if you're on the site, maybe you don't know how to answer a certain question, you're not sure if you completed it correctly, is there someone or somewhere you can go to get more answers?
Yes, so right on that website, you will find a phone number if you have any sort of issues to be able to ask. Once you're registered and you've created an account, you can always go back to your account. If, for example, you have a question or if you don't have the documentation that they're requesting and you need to go and get it and then come back and upload it to the site, you'll have the ability to do that. You'll have the ability to call somebody. For those without computer access, paper applications can be requested and will be made available. We have things translated into different languages. We have Spanish language assistance and other language assistance if needed. So there is definitely a lot of support that you'll be able to get from this process.
Natalie, thank you so much for joining us on CT22. Hopefully we provided some answers for people. And, I did speak to some healthcare workers and they said, this money will be coming and they hope it will come in handy. Certainly they'll be able to pay off some bills. I know one woman had to get a laptop computer for her son who had to learn remotely during the pandemic. So it's money well deserved and well needed. So thank you very much and good luck with the program.
Thank you. And I just want to add, just for everyone out there, that this is not a first come, first served program. The deadline to apply is October 1st. And so everyone has an equal opportunity. I know, as you said, folks have been logging on and having issues, and we're trying to get those issues cleared up as soon as possible. But it's not going to matter if you applied last week versus this week. Everyone has the same opportunity October 1st.
Good to know. That way we can avoid a mad rush. Thank you again for joining us on CT22. And when we come back.